What's going on? Jake Unfiltered here. Please like, subscribe if you like this video. Today, I'm going to talk about Netflix. Is Netflix a buy? So, you can see that in the year to date, Netflix is down 33.46% because they had a huge decline in growth, okay? But Netflix still was able to produce a net income of $607 million and a 7.88% profit margin. Their revenue was $7 billion in the fourth quarter. In September third quarter, they made $1.45 billion in net income, 19% profit margin, $7.48 billion in revenue. Okay, so from seeing their financials, it looks like they've been doing pretty good in their money making, because $600 million is a lot of money, and that is income, right? But it is an overpriced bubble, okay? And I would not buy this stock right now if I was an investor in Netflix, because Netflix is overpriced and there's probably a lot more declining to go. It looks like it's had about a 40% decrease since the all-time highs. 1 month ago, 35% decrease. I think that Netflix has a lot more dropping to go in stock price. So I would hold off for a little bit before you decide to buy in. So I went on seeking out alpha, and investors need to get real with valuations, is what it says. For investors, it was a warning that the current market has been allocating fantasy valuations in spite of slowing performance under the hood. Investors were given a pass by frothy stock indices in recent months. But the tide is turning. As Warren Buffett once famously said, "Only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked." What does that mean?
Basically, whenever the tide's shown, you can't tell who's sleeping naked or not. But whenever it's gone, there's nothing hiding the truth. There's nothing hiding the truth anymore when it goes out.
Investors should take a closer look at some of their holdings and see if the price improvements since the pandemic are actually warranted by underlying growth. We call these stay-at-home stocks. The writing has been on the wall for tech evaluations in recent months, but investors have been slow to react. I warned of a similar story in Snap Incorporated last year, and the stock is since down 50%. Well, I wish I would have listened to that, because I invested in Snapchat at like $60, and now I have it at $54 a share, and it's down to $30. The trouble started for Netflix in 2020 when the company saw an acceleration of subscribers due to coronavirus lockdowns. That pushed the company's PE ratio to almost 90x earnings, but Wall Street and investors can have a habit of ignoring human psychology. So the PE ratio was up, and now it's down, or whatever. Netflix was already a well-known brand, and the 2020 improvement was driven by the fact that consumers across the world were locked down with time on their hands. Yeah, so everybody was locked down, and they had nothing to do. So they subscribed to Netflix so that they can watch Netflix on their TV. And that caused Netflix to go up in evaluation because they got a shit ton of new subscribers and it looked good on them. And people were like, "Oh my God, look at all the new subscribers they got." And they didn't even think about the fact that it was like the pandemic that caused all these stocks to go up. That's why I didn't invest in Zoom, because I knew Zoom would drop back down, because not everybody's going to be using Zoom forever. They were just using it for a period of time, and now they're done using it. They're still being used, but not as much as they were. The factor for Netflix content is that the years spent in lockdowns had led to the situation of content by users, and as the company adds new subscribers, it can also lose others that want to try its competitors for fresh content. I talked about this in my last video. Competitors take away from the Netflix market share, and it causes the price to go down. Also, right now they are increasing their prices by 11%, and they are low on subscribers, and them increasing the prices is going to cause people to unsubscribe. So they're going to lose even more subscribers because they're greedy motherfuckers. For investors, it was vital to take the crazy people. The company's stock price tracked the March leap in subscribers and the 500 test seen in 2021. It was more of a realistic price level, but the stock saw a blow off top. The danger is now that the stock has crashed below 400 and the 2018 highs. There is a potential to 300 or even 250 if the indices see further trouble. Like I was saying, I think that the stock is going to keep dropping. That's all we can do. It's just wait. I wouldn't buy anything in the market right now. Like nothing. Like I would just hold all my cash on the sidelines because I think that the market is not done dropping. Now, I don't know for sure because I can't predict the market because there's billions of people invested in it and you never know what's going to happen. You never know which, like some stupid thing on Reddit like goes off or a meme goes off and some crazy shit happens, but I doubt that because not everybody's learning their lessons right now. Like people are losing a lot of money right now, and it's going to cause people to think a little more before they start buying garbage, unprofitable stocks. The bright side for our Netflix investors. Despite the gloom, seeing Netflix trading lower from here would be a gift for investors. The company was trading at more realistic PE ratio of 36x earnings with a forward PE ratio of 26. The price to sales ratio is now at 7.8 for the streaming giant. Okay, so like I was saying, let the stock price drop. I'm definitely thinking about buying some Netflix because when the Netflix price drops, it's going to be a really good investment. Like I think Netflix is a good company and they are profitable. They make a lot of money and they have a lot of users and people aren't going to give it up because everybody knows Netflix has a bunch of shitty shows, but people aren't giving it up because they have a few good shows and people just like whatever, it's just Netflix. I'll just keep paying for it until they increase the price. With this in mind, we shouldn't forget that full year revenue of $30 billion grew 19% year over year, while operating income of $6.2 billion rose 35% year over year. The company still ended the year with 222 million paid memberships, and in this world of 7% inflation in the U.S., there is room to squeeze subscription costs higher. Just because inflation is happening doesn't mean you got to jump on the trend of increasing your prices. Like, dude, look, you're a streaming company. You don't need to raise the prices to you're not producing any goods. You're not growing crops or building houses. Whenever you're building houses, you gotta increase your prices because the prices of wood increase and the prices of labor increase. Like Netflix, yeah, maybe they'll have to pay their employees a little more, but they're already making billions of dollars, net profit, and they need to chill. They don't need to raise the prices. That's why people bought into you guys. Because you're cheap and, it would be better to use Netflix and have cable. And now you're going to, start charging cable prices. People are just going to go to your competitors. You're going to suck. And people are going to quit your stupid little platform if you keep doing that. The following data highlights the performance of Netflix versus companies with similar valuations. Netflix comes out on top with EPS and sales over the past 5 years, while price to sales in the next 5-year EPS are also among the leaders. So Netflix saying 2022 could be a stronger dollar, with management saying that 60% of revenue coming from outside of the U.S. We estimate that the U.S. dollar appreciation over the past 6 months has cost us roughly $1 billion in expected 2022 revenue. So I guess their inflation is going to cause them to lose $1 billion, but whatever. You're already making a shit ton of money. In conclusion, the collapse in the Netflix share price was not a problem of the business performance, but rather the valuations that have been handed out by Wall Street and investors. The streaming service saw a big leap in subscribers from March 2020 as the coronavirus lockdowns kept many stuck at home with time to spare. That trend started to wane in 2021, but the company's stock price remained elevated, and this is the return to reality. Okay, so the price is consolidating. It's going to go back down. I want to buy in for a while and see where it levels off, you know what I'm saying? And, yeah, that's about it. I mean, I think that it will be a buy, but I don't think it's a buy right now. And this is not financial advice. This is just my due diligence and looking at the fundamentals, I guess, looking at articles about how, like, just studying the amount of subscribers they're getting, looking at their quarterly earnings, knowing about the coronavirus lockdowns. It's good to read like articles and stuff to find out what's going on in the company. But only look at the facts. Don't don't listen, like, you don't have to listen to the person writing the article. Just look at the facts, write down the facts, you know what I'm saying? Investors should see this drop in Netflix as a potential investment opportunity and also reconsider the valuations of other tech companies. The other leg of the stool was that central banks reacted to the pandemic with stimulus and lower interest rates. Both of those are being removed due to inflation, and that means the tide is now going out for valuations. In conclusion, Netflix is not a buy, but it will be a buy. Not at financial advice. But so they're saying, like, we need to look at the other tech stocks like Apple and Google and Amazon type of stocks, Microsoft. Are these stocks in a bubble? Okay. Right now it says Facebook is undervalued. But who knows? Maybe Facebook will drop some more. The S&P 500 is filled with tech stocks for their top 10 holdings. It's kind of like a bubble waiting to happen. Like, all the top 10 holdings are like tech stocks. So if all the tech stocks fall, the S&P 500 is going to fall, or the ETFs in the S&P 500. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you liked the video. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So y'all have a wonderful night. Oh, and by the way, if you have an idea on what you want me to make a YouTube video about, I will make it. Just comment it down below and I will make that video for you, okay? I got you.